Hello everyone, welcome to KBK Academy. In this session, we shall discuss Economics Chapter 1, MCQ 1 to 10. We shall keep uploading videos for all MCQs of Economics and BCK in this channel. So let's continue without further ado. So question 1. Economists regard decision making as important because there are 4 options given and we shall choose the right option. The resources required to satisfy our unlimited wants and needs are finite or scarce. Yes, this sentence is true. It is crucial to understand how we can best allocate our scarce resources to satisfy society's unlimited wants and needs. Is this true? Yes, economics is all about allocation of our resources, right? So, option C, resources have alternate uses. Is this true? Yes, for example, let's take milk here. So what can we do with milk? We can drink milk as it is, or we can make curd out of milk, make it ghee, paneer, etc. Is it not? And so what would be the right option here? Answer will be all of the above. So let's go to next question. Business economics is dash. There are 4 options given again. So we should choose the right option. First, business economics is abstract and applies tools of microeconomics. Is this true? It's not abstract. Business economics is not abstract. Involves practical application of economic theory in business decision making. Yes, business economics, business decision making. Yes, so this is true. Incorporates tools from multiple disciplines. Is this true? Yes, it does incorporate multiple disciplines, right? So the option is D. So since B and C are correct, so we choose option D. In economics, we use the term scarcity to mean A, absolute scarcity and lack of resources in less developed countries. No, it's not true, right? Scarcity does not necessarily come in just less developed cities. Option B, relative scarcity, that is scarcity in relation to the wants of society. Is this true? Yes, it is true. Scarcity during times of business failure and natural calamities. No, scarcity can come at any time, so it does not matter when the scarcity comes. So this is not true. Scarcity caused on account of excessive consumption by the rich. No, excessive consumption can happen even by the poor. Does not matter rich or poor, right? So what's the right one here? It's option B. So question number 4. What implications does resources scarcity have for satisfaction of wants? So they are asking, what implications? So A, not all wants can be satisfied. Is this true? Yes, it is true. We have so many wants and needs these days, so it can never be satisfied. B, we will never be faced with need to make choices. No, we will always be in a dilemma when it comes to choices. We must develop ways to decrease our individual wants. No, we cannot decrease our wants. As we move on, the choices will obviously increase. It will never decrease. So this is also not true. The discovery of new natural resources is necessary to increase our ability to satisfy wants. This might be true, but discovery of new natural resources is not the implication to resource scarcity. So what's the option? It will be option A. Not all wants cannot be satisfied. Can be satisfied. Which of the following is a normative statement? So first we should understand what is a normative statement. So what is a normative statement? Normative statements mean how things should be is usually described in normative statement. So what is a positive statement then? So positive statements usually describes how things are, right? So here they have asked, which of the following is the normative statements? So let's see. A. Planned economies allocate resources via government departments. So is this true? So I mean, is this a normative statement? No, because they describe how things are. So this is not a normative statement. Most transitional economies have experienced problems of falling output and rising prices over the past decade. So this also explains how things are. It's not how things should be. There is a greater degree of consumer sovereignty in market economics than planned economics. This also describes how things are. Reducing inequality should be a major priority for mixed economies. Yes, so this is a normative statement because it describes how things should be. So the option is D. So sixth question. In every economic system, scarcity imposes limitations on. Four options are given: households, business firms, governments, and the nation as a whole. Is this true? Yes, it is true. Second option, households, business firms, but not governments. No. In every economic systems, governments do get affected. Local, state, and governments, but not federal government. No, this is not true. Households and governments, but not business firms. No, business firms do get affected if scarcity is there. So the option is A. Question 7. Macroeconomics is also called as dash economics. So what is macroeconomics also called as? It is called as, is it applied economics? No, it is aggregate economics. Because aggregate means as a whole, right? Macro is as a whole. An example of positive economic analysis would be, we saw normative statements. Here we'll be seeing positive economic analysis. A. An analysis of the relationship between price of food and quantity purchased. Is this true? Yes, this is positive, right? Because it shows how things are. Determining how much income each person should be guaranteed. So this is should be. So this comes under normative, not positive. Determining the fair price for food. So what should be the fair price? How things ought to be is discussed when it comes to fair price, right? So it shall be normative, not positive again. Deciding how to distribute. So again, how to is a situation that should be, that is not how things are. So option would be A. An analysis of relationship between price of food and quantity purchased. So this is merely a comparison of how things are. A study of how increases in the corporate income tax rate will affect national unemployment rate is an example of dash. How increase in corporate income tax rate will affect national unemployment rate. So what is this a study of? Is it macroeconomics, descriptive economics, microeconomics, or normative economics? So it's not descriptive economics. It's not micro because it's a national level, right? So it's not micro either. Is it normative? No, it's merely a comparison. It's a comparison. So it's not normative. So it is macroeconomics. It is nationwide macroeconomics. Which of the following does not suggest a macro approach for India? Determining GNP of India, finding the causes of failure of ABC Limited, identifying the causes of inflation in India, analyzes the causes of failure of industry in providing large-scale employment. So, when it comes to macro approach, GNP is macro, identifying causes of inflation as in a whole nation is macro, analyze causes of failure of a whole industry which provides large-scale employment. This is also macro. Since this is not macro, this is the right answer. Option B is the right answer. Let's see question number 11. Here, they are given 4 statements and they have asked us to find who made the normative statement. So let's see. Ram, he says, my corn harvest this year is poor. Krishnan says, don't worry, price increases will compensate for the fall in quantity supplied. Vinod says, climate affects crop yields. Some years are bad, others are good. Madhu says, the government ought to guarantee that our income will not fall. So they're asking the normative statement, right? So who says a statement that should be? Here, Madhu says it ought to be. Others say the things as they are. So who made the normative statement? It's Madhu. Let's see question number 12. Consider the following and decide which, if any, economy is without scarcity. So they are given 4 options again. The pre-independent Indian economy, where most people were farmers, was it without scarcity? No, it definitely was not. A mythical economy where everybody is a billionaire. Even if everybody is a billionaire, an economy can never be without scarcity. It's impossible. Any economy where income is distributed equally among its people. Even if it is distributed equally, there will be some resources that will be scarce. So the option is none of the above. Which of the following is not a subject matter of microeconomics? The price of mangoes, the cost of producing a fire truck for the fire department of Delhi, India, the quantity of mangoes produced for the mangoes market, D, the national economy's annual rate of growth. So which is not microeconomics? This is micro, this is also micro, and this is micro. So annual growth, national economy is macro. So it's option D. Question number 14. The branch of economic theory that deals with the problem of allocation of resources. Which branch deals with allocation of resources? They are given options. Microeconomic theory, macroeconomic theory, econometrics, none of the above. Does microeconomic theory deal with allocation of resources? Yes, it does. Does macroeconomic? No, it does not deal with allocation of resources. It mainly focuses on the whole aggregate of the economy. Econometrics? No, it does not. And so the option is A, microeconomic theory. Which of the following is not the subject matter of business economics? A, should a firm be in business? B, how much should be produced and at what price should be kept? C, how will the product be placed in the market? How should we decrease unemployment in the economy? When it comes to business economics, it mostly deals with microeconomics. So here, decreasing the unemployment in the whole economy is a macro. So this is not a subject matter of business economics. Which of the following is a normative economic statement? So we saw normative versus positive, right? So what is normative? Normative statement is something, how things should be, how things ought to be is mentioned. And positive is how things are. What is the current scenario of the things usually is expressed in positive statement. So which is normative economic statement here? Unemployment rate decreases with industrialization. B, economics is a social science that studies human behavior. C, minimum wage should be raised to 200 per day. India spends a huge amount of money on national defense. So unemployment rate decreases and economics is a social science. India spends huge amount of money on national defenses. These three statements usually explains how things are in the current scenario. But this statement C, explains how things should be. So this is a normative economic statement. Which of the following would be considered a topic of study in macroeconomics? The effect of increasing wages on profitability of cotton industry, effect of steel prices when steel is imported, the effect of an increasing inflation rate on living standards of people in India, the effect of an increase in price of coffee and the quantity of tea consumed. So which is macroeconomics here? This option A, option B and option D speaks about certain products, certain industries, whereas option C discusses the whole living standard of an entire country. So this is a macroeconomic statement. So it's option C. The difference between positive and normative economics. Again, positive, how things are, and normative, how it ought to be. So let's see. Positive economics explains the performance of the economy, while normative economics finds out the reasons for poor performance. Option B. Positive economics describes the facts of the economy, while normative economics involves evaluating whether some of these are good or bad for welfare of the people. So this one, let's see here, discusses facts, that is how things are, and normative is evaluating, that is how things ought to be. So this might be the right answer. Let's see option C. Normative economics describes fact of the economy, while positive economics involves evaluating whether some of these are good or some of these are bad. So here it's not true, right? Normative economics discusses good or bad, while positive economics describes facts. So they have, mixed up the words. So this is not the right option. Option D, positive economics prescribes, whereas normative economics describes. No, this is wrong. Normative economics prescribes and positive economics describes. So description means how things are again, and prescription means how things ought to be. How the government should behave is one of the examples. So option is option B. Question number 19. Which of the following is not within the scope of business economics? So let's see. Capital budgeting, business cycles, risk analysis, accounting standards. So when it comes to economics, which do you think is the right answer? So they're discussing business economics, right? So capital budgeting comes in business. Business cycles do play a role in business economics and a business. Risk analysis, yes, definitely a business does risk analysis. When it comes to economics, accounting standards is not a part of business economics. So its option D is the answer. So let me clear it up so that it doesn't confuse. Option D is the right answer. Which of the following statements is incorrect? A. Business economics is normative in nature. B. Business economics has a close connection with statistics. Yes, it is true. Business economists need not worry about macro variables. Is it true though? Does business not have to worry about the external environments and the national economics? Is it true? No, it's not, right? Business economics is also called managerial economics. Yes, another name for business economics is managerial economics. So business economics is normative in nature. It has close connection with statistics. This statement C, is false. So that's the incorrect statements in the given statements. Economic goods are considered scarce resources because they A. cannot be increased in quantity, B. do not exist in adequate quantity to satisfy the requirements of the society, C. are of primary importance in satisfying social requirements, D. are limited to man-made goods. Economic goods, why are they considered scarce? Because they do not exist in adequate quantity to satisfy the requirements of society. Because you see, there are many wants of the society, right? Economic goods cannot satisfy all the wants. So it's option B. 22. In a free market economy, the allocation of resources is determined by how in a free market, how the allocation of resources is determined. Usually, it is determined by consumer preferences, right? So let's see if there's an option like that. Voting done by consumers, a central planning authority, consumer preferences. Question 23. A capitalist economy uses dash as the principle of allocating resources. How does a capitalist economy uses, how does a capital economy allocates resources? Is it by demand? It might be, or supply, efficiency, or prices. It's prices. Capitalist economy, prices. 24. Which of the following is considered as an advantage of allocating resources using the market system? What are the disadvantages? Income will tend to be unevenly distributed. People do not get goods of their choice. Men of initiative and enterprise are not rewarded. No, that's not true. Profit will tend to be low. No. When in a market system, people do get the goods of their choice, and men of initiative and enterprise are rewarded, and profits will be usually high. So the option is income will be unevenly distributed. Which of the following statement does not apply to a market economy? Firm decide whom to hire and what to produce. Yes, it applies to market economy. Firms aim at maximizing profit. This also applies to market economy. Household decides which firms to work for and what to buy with their incomes. Yes, this is also true. So let's see the fourth option. Government policies are primary forces that guide the decisions of firms and households. No, this is not true. Right? In a market economy, consumer preferences play a very major role. So it's option D. Government policies are not the primary forces. 26. In a mixed economy, they are given 4 options. A. All economic decisions are taken by central authority. All economic decisions are taken by private entrepreneurs. No, this is not true. And this is not true either. This is a mixed economy. Economic decisions are partly taken by the state and partly taken by private entrepreneurs. So, it's option C. The central problem in economics is that comparing the success of command versus market economies, guaranteeing the production occurring in the most efficient manner, guaranteeing a minimum level of income for every citizen, allocating scarce resources in such a manner that society's unlimited needs or wants are satisfied in the best manner possible. So, what is the central problem of economics? It's allocation of resources, right? So, it's option D. Question 28. Capital intensive technique would get chosen in a, they are given 4 options. Labor surplus economy, where relative price of capital is lower. No, in a capital intensive technique is usually chosen when the price of the capital is lower, right? Or else why would they choose something where price is higher? If labor, the price of labor is higher, then you would definitely wouldn't choose labor for your technique, right? For as a technique, you wouldn't choose it, right? When the price of capital is lower, you choose capital. So let's see if there's an option that fits that. Labor surplus economy, where the relative price of capital is lower. No, in a labor surplus economy, you wouldn't choose capital intensive technique. Capital surplus economy, where the relative price of capital is lower. Yes, this might be the right option. Developed economy, where the technology is better. Developing country, where technology is poor. No, it's capital surplus economy, where relative price of capital is lower. Which of the following is not one of the 4 central questions that study of economics is supposed to answer? They are asking which is not one. Who produces what? When are goods produced? Who consumes what? How are goods produced? The study of economics usually answers who produces what to produce, how to produce. These kind of questions are usually answered, right? Who consumes? In who consumes, they usually it usually depends on your income. So economics answers that. When to produce the goods is not answered. So it's option B. Again, let me clear that so that it does not confuse. It's option B. Question 30. Larger production of dash goods would lead to a higher production in future. Consumer goods, agricultural goods, capital goods, or public goods. Larger production of dash goods would lead to higher production in the future. So they are asking which goods should be produced. So is it consumer goods or capital goods? Definitely not public goods and agricultural goods. It's either consumer or capital goods. So you can use this technique of elimination when it comes to MCQs. So is it consumer goods? No, it's not consumer goods. It's either. Especially if they want a higher production in the future, capital goods are usually produced. Question number 31. The economic system in which all the means of productions are owned and controlled by private individuals for profit. So which is a profit-driven economic system in which all means of productions are owned by private individuals. So not socialism, it is capitalism, right? In capitalist economy, everything is private owned and their motive is profit. 32. Macroeconomics is the study of dash. A. All aspects of scarcity, the national economy and the global economy as a whole. Yes, this might be the option. C. Big businesses. No, it's not merely big businesses. So this is not the option. The decisions of individual business and people. No, studying individual businesses and people is microeconomics. So this is not the option either. So it is option B. The national economy and the global economy as a whole. Freedom of choice is the advantage of dash. Socialism? No. Communism? No. Capitalism? Yes. In capitalism, the consumers are given a freedom of choice. Question 34. Exploitation and inequality are minimal under socialism, capitalism, mixed economy, none of the above. In capitalism, exploitation and inequality are high. In the previous question, we saw that income distribution in capital economy is quite unequal, right? So it's not capitalism. They're asking where it is minimal, so it's not capitalism. In mixed economy, since both private and public entities exist, it is not minimal. In socialism, everything is public owned. So the exploitation and inequality are very, very minimal in socialism. 35. Administered prices refer to prices determined by forces of demand and supply. No, are they administered? No, it's merely based on consumer preferences and their wants, right? So it's not administered. Prices determined by sellers? No, not administered. Prices determined by an external authority, which is usually the government. Yes, here administered. The administrative authority is the government. So option C is the right answer. In economics, the central economic problem means A. Output is restricted to the limited availability of resources. Consumers do not have as much money as they would wish. C. There will always be a certain level of unemployment. D. Resources are not allocated in an optimum way. So it's option A, because output is restricted. Why? Due to limited availability, that is scarcity of resources, right? So that's the central economic problem. So this is quite a different question actually. The scarcity definition is not given in the lesson. However, they have asked a question here. So let's first discuss what scarcity means before discussing who gave the definition of scarcity. So I'll write it down in a separate space. So do copy down. They might ask this. So first of all, what is scarcity? Scarcity means limited availability of resources, right? So here let me just say who gave that first. Robinson is the one who gave that. So let's check his definition. So Robinson said that science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternate uses. Here, Robinson says, Robinson's word actually is based on a few assumptions. The ends are various. Here, what are ends? Ends means wants. Human wants are unlimited. Let's write. Human wants are unlimited. This is his assumption. And means are limited. Here, what he means by means. So this turned out to be quite a good pun. Means resources. All right. Why he says means are limited is because the resources are already limited. On top of that, many of the resources have alternate uses. So we saw in the first question, if I remember correctly, we took the example of milk, right? So milk in itself is scarce and limited. Although not scarce, it is definitely limited. So when you make too many products like curd, ghee, etc., there are many dairy products, right? So the want for milk still exists. The demand for milk still exists, but from this demand, you make all these products, which makes the demand higher, right? But the resources to satisfy the wants and demand is less, right? So that's why he says means are limited. So let me write down the full definition given by Robinson. His science which studies human behavior as a relationship between, I'm using shortcuts here, so as to not waste time, ends and scarce means which have alternate resources. Here again, let me highlight the words, important words, means and ends. Here, scarce means scarce resources which have alternate resources. It technically does not define scarcity. On the actually, he defines what economics means. All right. So let's go to that question. Here, scarcity definition is given by Robinson. Do remember this question. This may come in the exam, so it's better to be careful. Question 38. The definition science which deals with the wealth of nation was given by. This is a very famous question and many of you might know this. It's given by Adam Smith. Which of the following is not one of the features of capitalist economy? So let's see. Right of private property? No. Capitalist economy means private ownership. This is not the choice. Freedom of choice by consumers? Yes. consumers are free to choose what they want to buy based on their level of income in capitalist economy. So this is not the option either. They're asking not no profit, no loss motive. No. In capitalist economy, their motive in itself is profit. So they work for profit. So this is the option. Competition. Well, we've chosen this. So competition is a feature of capitalist economy. All right. There is a need of economic study because. So why do we study economics? The options are given. We have to choose the right one. The resources are limited. Yes, definitely. That's why we study economics. The wants are unlimited. Yes. So these two options are right. The resources are unlimited. No, the resources are scarce and limited. So it's option D. Both option A and B is the right answer. Question 41. The benefit of economic study is A. It ensures that all problems will be appropriately tackled. It's impossible to tackle all problems. So this is not the option. It helps in identifying problems. This may be the option because it does identify certain problems. It enables to examine a problem in its right perspective. Yes, this is the option because economics helps you to identify a problem and how to tackle it. So option C is the right answer. Question 42. Managerial economics. So what is the other name for managerial economics? It is business economics, right? We had a similar question in previously. Yes, we had a similar question. Business economics. Yes, managerial economics. So what is business economics? Business economics is applied economics that fills the gap between economic theory and business practice. So option A is the right answer. It's not merely a theory concept, or it's not merely on how to behave, or is it not merely a tool that explains, right? It is applied economics that fills the gap between economic theory and practice. Which of the following statements is correct? Microeconomics is important for study of a particular household and a particular firm. It's true, right? Microeconomics is true. Macroeconomics is important for the study of economic conditions of a country. Yes, it is true. Macroeconomics means aggregate. It studies the whole country. None of the above? No, because both options are there. It's option D, both A and B. Shall I clear it up? Yes. Question 44. Mr. Satish hired a business consultant to guide him for the growth of his business. The consultant visited his factory and suggested some changes with respect to staff appointment, loan availability, and so on. Which approach is that consultant using? So it talks about a business, right? For growth of his business, it's here. So when it comes to business, it's merely about a particular business that Mr. Satish owns. So which one would it be? Microeconomics, macroeconomics? Which would it be? Definitely micro. It's a small scale. Question 45. Profit motive is a merit of, we saw this in the previous question. It is merit of capitalism. Question 46. Dash is also called as command economy. So here they are given mixed economy, capitalist economy, and socialist economy. Why it is not mixed economy and capitalist economy? Because in capitalist economy, it's the consumers' preferences that matter and government does not intervene. In mixed economy, government intervention is merely a part. Both private entrepreneurs and government takes part in the economy. So it's not command economy. So it's socialist economy is the right answer. So because socialist economy, all the businesses are owned by the government. So it's basically a command economy. I think that's it. Yep. We have completed chapter 1. Complete. So thank you for watching. Hope you find this useful. And we'll keep updating and uploading the MCQs for economics and BCK in the future videos. And and chapter 2 will be releasing soon. Thank you.